Good evening, campers. Welcome to another Friday wild camp in actually sunny Pembrokeshire today. I'm just out for a cheeky one tonight. I've got my Fengyin two-man tent with a two-man inner, and I'm going to configure it in an A-frame configuration. Just see how that goes tonight. I think that's going to be the one for me for my coast to coast, but we shall see. I've tested it in the garden. Yeah, it all seems fine. Yeah, I'm on the peninsula of Angle, which is off of Pembrokeshire, which is it's almost like an island in itself. But yeah, so I've never camped on this side before. I've camped. Let me just spin this round. So I've camped. There's Thorn Island over there, and I've camped just over there on that peninsula. So they come into focus over there, and I've parked up West Angle Bay. There's a cafe over there, car park. I've walked around from there. So I'm hoping I'm going to walk round towards the sunset, up towards a headland up the top here. Just thought I'd stop by, check out this little wall. Looks like a observation post, which I guess if the weather got terrible, which it won't tonight, but this would be a good place to get into, shelter, make a brew or whatever, potentially even sleep there if needed to. But yeah, so that's the agenda for tonight. So I'm going to carry on walking, hopefully to beat the sunset, or at least get some pictures of it and get camped up at remains of a castle further on. So I'll bring you back when I get up there. What a tremendous spot I've found here. So there's the castle just over there, but we've got all this ground here, and while it's not perfect, it's comes into the good enough category. And I've got a beautiful sunset out on the open sea over there. There's St Anne's Head over there, the lighthouse, which if you walk around that whole peninsula will bring you back into Dale, which you can't see from here. It's tucked away behind this here, but this was, yeah, it's exactly what I was hoping for. Not perfectly level, but yeah, tremendous spot. I'm definitely wild camping here tonight. It's going to be cold, so I've geared up for it, but this spot here looks extremely promising. I'm going to be on a bit of a slope, but that's okay. I can lie head up and cope with that. But yeah, excellent. So it's time to get set up. So just so you can see how I've pitched this before I put the inner in. So this is my pitch, basically. Not too shoddy a view. You've got the old castle there. Just a little bit of tweaking on the outside. But as you can see, I've used my long trekking poles, 150 centimetres. You can see here, I use shepherd's hooks, thin, very thin, lightweight shepherd's hook pegs, stakes, for just stopping these from sliding out, stopping the poles from sliding out. And if you look at the top, I've modded the poles, and you can probably see it more there. I'll show you the mod. I've got an extension that hooks onto both of them. So as you can see, I've got tons of room in here now for one person. And when I put the inner up, you'll get a better feel for this. But this is a fairly low pitch. I could go higher, but you know, this is fine. Not due wind tonight. I could even go lower, but this will do for tonight when I've got the inner up, and I'll show you. But I want to just catch some photos of the sunset tonight with the castle in the foreground. So I'll just get my camera out and do a bit of that, and then I'll bring you back. But yeah, very happy with things tonight, the way things are panning out. Right, so I've now set up the inner, and I don't think the awesomeness of this inner can be overstated. I'll show you why in a minute. So I've pulled out the corners of the inner. I've adapted some bungee cords here, which you can use at different lengths, but I haven't tightened everything down yet. But basically all 4 corners have the inner bungeed, and you can't see any of the corners poking out, nor are they touching anything as far as I can tell. No, they're not touching the sides or anything. So right, so let's come to the inside now. For one person, that, I mean, you could squeeze 2 in, to be honest, but for one person that is tremendous. And for me, being tall, plenty of height and everything, and that is also an extremely wind resistant setup, so that ain't going anywhere. And I haven't even guyed it all out yet. So the sides, there's another one at the back here which I need to guy out. It is just tremendous, and because you haven't got the J door, you've got the T-zip on the front, you can open it out. And yes, I understand. I know someone's going to point out to me, yeah, but you're going to have the sunrise behind you in the morning. Well, yeah, but I don't care. I've got a fantastic view. I mean, what's not to like about this view? A bit of castle there and going on. I mean, if I could get up, I'd camp on top of that. But I may one day actually take my kayak. I've got an inflatable kayak, because I could kayak from West Angle Bay round to here, and I reckon I could get on top of that. So that is a definite possibility. Look at that for a spot. And I think that's climbable up here. You probably can't see it, but I think I could get up there, and certainly worth a try anyway. And yeah, camping on top of that would be tremendous. And obviously this was a defensive position, as you can see, with the old castle there. You've got Thorn Island, which has got a fort on it over there. I mean, there's military emplacements all around here. But yeah, so how about that? Yeah, and I've got a bit of a slope, I know, but I don't care, because I'll slide down towards the end a bit, but that's okay. I can probably use my bag and reduce that quite a bit. But that, look at that for space for one man, for one tall man. I've got my pole set at about, what's this one set at? 140 on top. Yeah, set to 140, that one. I think they both are actually, with the extensions. They're 25 metre extensions, so that takes them 170 they're set at, with those extensions on. Homemade extensions, which I'll do a little video on. But, and you know, you haven't got that whole pole in the middle thing going on, which really drives me crackers. You've just got all that space to get your kit sorted out. You can put your bag in there. I mean, some people are going to say, oh yeah, we haven't got a vestibule. Well, I don't need a vestibule. I've actually, if I want to cook, you'll see I put a carabiner here. So if the weather is rubbish, I can just unclip that and just fold that corner in. I can drop the top. It's got a clip on the top which you can tighten and loosen. So the clip up here, I can just unclip that and drop the inner and just sit on it. So to me, this is the best setup, and the whole weight of this thing, including the inner, is 1100. That's not including the pegs, but I take my own pegs. You've always got to add on weight for the pegs. Everybody does that, and I don't really care. I use my Chinese corkscrews. Never had one pull out on me yet. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I've never had it. So yeah, that is an awesome setup for me. That has solved all the problems that I've had. Just the little niggly things. It's quick to put up. You can put it up. What I tend to do is I start off with a single pole configuration when I'm putting it up before I put the inner in. So I get the one pole in here with the extended part on, which is joined together. And then once I've got the single pole up in there, I found out that then you can add the second pole and then form them into the A, and you're good to go. And if you really needed to, if the wind was really bad and you're really fighting with it, you just put the single pole, you just do that. But what could be more simpler? 4 corners, a pole in the centre, and then you work from there. Don't get any easier than that. So just to give you a bit of an idea of scale of the space in here, there's Big Agnes at the back there, and yeah, I think you could get two of them. That's the 183 centimeters long version. I didn't go for the full version, just saved a bit of weight. 183 centimeters means my feet are off the edge a little bit, but that's okay. I'm a side sleeper, generally curled up, so it doesn't bother me. And there's some spare clothes at the back there, so there's absolutely tons of room. So there's definitely room for 2 people in here. Might be a bit of a squeeze with your bags and that, but it's doable, I think. But yeah, palace for 1 person. And let's be honest, any night with Big Agnes is a good night, isn't it? In my experience. So can't beat a night with Big Agnes. So yeah, so that's got my wind hard. Got a bit lightweight tonight, but I've got my silk sleeping bag liner and my wind hard quilt, which when it's lofted is incredibly warm for the size of it. Doesn't look much, but I'll tell you what, when that thing, give that an hour or 2 in that, and it gets nice and toasty. So yeah, I'm all good. Right, so first proceedings evening, I like to get a brew on. I've bought my 720 degree mug with me, insulated mug, great bit of kit. So I'm going straight in, make a brew up, and that'll keep warm for ages. So I've gone quite heavy on the meths. Gone straight in with about, I don't know, I've got about 60-70 mil, something like that, of meths in there. So I've got a bit of cooking to do, but got a little mess bottle here. So I've got plenty. So let's just get the proceedings underway. And it's blooming. It's as quick as that, folks. That's how good this bad boy is. So let's get this brew on the road. Well, welcome back. So tonight's menu, I've got some eggs and steak with some mushrooms, which I'm going to knock up on my little pan set here. The eggs are going to be poached, and I'm going to do that in my pan. And I've got these little things, I don't know if you've ever seen them before, poaches. And all you do is, I've tried this at home, I've tested it, so I know this works. You get your little poaching bag, get your cup, so there you go, see the Summit cup, put your poachy bag in there. So what you've got to do is you've got to have the water already boiling. Then when the water's boiling, you just crack the egg, drop it in here. Now as soon as you dropped it in here, because these bags aren't leak proof, but they do seal the egg in, so you just take the bag out, pop it in the water, boil it for 5 minutes, simmer it for 5 minutes, take it out, and you've got a poached egg. And this will just this just pulls away from the egg. It works a treat. And so I'm going to have 2 eggs, I think, some mushrooms and steak. So don't get any better than that. Not for me anyway. Not camping. You know, some of you cordon bleu chefs out there maybe, but you know, I've seen everything from pot noodles to lobster thermidor being cooked camping. I'm somewhere in the middle probably, I guess. But yeah, so let's get that. I've fired up my heated gilet now, because you can see my breath is you can see how cold it is because of the condensation. But my snuffer worked a treat. I'll explain that probably tomorrow morning. This modified snuffer, I think I've finally cracked it after about half a dozen attempts. So also what I'm going to do, I'm going to simmer this. I'm going to have this on simmer. So I've got my little simmer ring for my Toaks. I just can't get on with gas. I tried it the other day. It's just not having it. Put that upside down. It's just not working for me. No, please make this work. That'd be a pain in the arse. I think it's better. Right, because it's a bit fierce, this Toaks, but right, that's working. Let's just get this lard warmed up, and then we can I'm going to do the steak and the mushrooms first, obviously. Then I'm going to take them off, I'm going to poach the eggs, and then I'll have to warm the steak up again. So it's just how it is, isn't it? But I'm the one who's got to eat it, so you can just watch and be amused. Yeah, I've had to put my hood up because there's just a little breeze around the back of my neck that I didn't care too much for. So my hood sorted that out, and I've fired up my gilet, it's power pack. Show, yeah, sorry about the light around my head. I haven't got a halo. Nobody could ever accuse me of that. See my gilet powered on, top and bottom. It's got 2 settings on it. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's well, it's quite chilly. It's all right. Let me just sort the seat out. The other thing I bought, I don't know if you can see it from there, is my foil. This little foil mat, which will go under my mattress later, but for sitting on a night like this, perfect. Yeah, lard's starting to melt nicely. But yes, got my shrooms. I have to just let that encourage that a bit more. It's the first time I've used this method properly. See how it goes. I reckon it's going to work. If it doesn't, I'm going to go hungry, so it better work. The other thing I've got my Gerber tongs, which is a knife and fork and spoon set, which converts into a pair of tongs and a spatula, which they work really well now, lightweight as well. So I've already seasoned my steak, so that'll should be good. Let's get some mushrooms in. I just bought these pre-sliced. I couldn't be bothered to mess about. Didn't have time, I was working this afternoon, so. I've got a good feeling about this. Yeah, this cook set, I just want to be able to do this on a through hike, you know. I don't want to have to eat, you know, if you get access to a supermarket, I don't just want to be eating boiling the bag crap or noodles. I want to have, I can get a bit of steak, you know, sometimes on a shorter leg, you've got a bit of spare time, get access to some nice food. Like I've stayed on one campsite, and farm campsite, and they were selling like proper steaks and everything from the farm. I'm like, oh, this could so do with one of them, and I couldn't because I couldn't cook it. Well, I'm not having that. So so yeah, so this little cook set, which I've been fanning around with for a long time now, modifying, getting it right. I think I'm there now, and I just don't want the gas. I prefer having mess. It's quiet, peaceful, and it's easy once you've got it. Once you've worked it out, this Toaks thing fires up straight away. I just don't like the noise of gas, and you know. And also you get through surprisingly a lot of gas anyway. Well, I do. So at 6 of one, half a dozen the other, I don't mind carrying a litre of mess if I need to. It's not normally too hard to get hold of. And what I'll do is I'll take a little, what I'll probably do, well, in fact what I will do is I've got one of those little BRS things, the little miniature gas things, which, so they weigh about 15 grams. I'll just take one of them. So say for instance I can't get any mess, but I can get a gas cylinder. Well, I'll get a gas cylinder then. For the sake of 15 grams, you'd be stupid not to. So I mean, I've actually got one, and I've got it in my bag. So yeah, I can cover 2 bases then. Snuffer. top snuffer. There you go. Successful. Happy days. Bring you back for some poachy action. Right, we're just getting close to poachy time now. Oh yeah, we're there. Right, this is where the magic happens. Let's just get that sorted. Now, tell these eggs are fresh, they've still got straw and stuff on them. It's not going to work, is it? That's one. Just let them drop in like that. Another one going. That was nearly an epic failure. Two. Got a little bit of egg yolk in the cup, but nothing to get too excited about. Right, so eggs are done. So what I'm deciding to do, I'm going to put them in the cup to start with, because you do get a bit of water with poached eggs, as I'm sure you understand. One. Now what I would do normally, and what I did last week when I haven't got a bit of grass in there, was I'd use that water for a brew, which is what I did last week, and that worked a treat, and it didn't taste of egg or anything. It just used that water, made a cup of tea out of it. Good old British Army style multitasking. Right, there's my two. So now let's get the steak cooking again. Let's get that on the go. And what we've got now, let's put those mushrooms to one side. What we've got now is two tremendous poached eggs. A bit of salt and pepper on them. So I can eat them on the steaks on the go, warming up. Look at that. Perfect. Just flip this over, and then once I'm happy, chuck the mushrooms in for a minute or two, and then we're done. And I would say I'll take this over rehydrated bag meals all day long. Both those eggs come out perfect. 5 minutes. Tremendous. So if you've been hiking on a hot day, well, all day, it must be a hot day any day, and I could do this in the tent, shut myself in, no problem. Just drop the top and no dramas whatsoever. I reckon this is good to go now. And then the last bit to warm up, mushrooms. And the other bit of kit that I always bring with me is my Leatherman Wave. And I've seen particularly the Americans saying, oh, you don't need to take a penknife, don't take it. You've got to be kidding me, this thing, it gets used every single time, multiple times. Yes, it weighs a pound, I don't care, I'll carry it. It is a monster bit of kit. There's just so many things. I mean, I've used it already just for getting my little pan, like the pan warmer, the regulator that I use. You can't, well you can grab it if you want, but it's going to burn. I just use my pliers on here and just move it off. So yeah, I see these ultralighters. Yeah, oh yeah, my bag weighs 8 pounds. Yeah, great. Yeah, you try and do that in the UK in the colder months. Good luck with that. Let me know how you get on. Oh yeah, your bag was 4 kilograms, but you froze to death overnight. Yeah, terrific. Honestly. And there we have it. Lovely jubbly. That's it. Look at that. Add the eggs. And look. That's what I use me things for. Still got a little bit of fuel left, but here we go. Look at that. The snuffer has been solved. Used it literally down to the thing. So I reckon I've used, this is a 350ml bottle, so I reckon I've used, to create that dinner, probably used about 150ml, which is quite a lot, but you know, you're not going to be doing this every night. So I'm sure you don't want to watch me devour this. Even I wouldn't want to watch that. So use my spatula and fork, that's it. So I'm going to polish this off now, but just so you can see that can be done with a little Toaks, and you can do poached eggs and you can do steak and stuff. You can cook just like you can with a Astagear, no problem if you set it up right. So there you go. Well, back again. Finished my dinner, and I must admit, I must confess, even though I say it myself, that was tremendous, that steak. That cost me less than £4 from Lidl. Mushrooms cost me a couple of quid. And the eggs, well, there's pence, aren't they, really? So for basically probably £6-ish, I had a superb, filling, nutritious meal, which I would take all day long over a boil in the bag, rehydrated meal. I know, I get it. Rehydrated meals have their place and the rest of it, but if I get a chance to do that on a through hike, I'm doing it, and that's why that's why I have the cook kit I do. Just give me the opportunity. Anyway, back to the tent. So I'm in, as you can see. I've got nice bit of room all around me. This is basically all around me. I'll just sort of show you. I've even got a bit of vestibule space still. So I'll just let me just sort this zip out. I can show you. So there you go. So got my boots in there, just outside there, no problem. I could cook in that space with my little cook set, I reckon, no problem. Maybe not steak, but if I wanted to boil water or whatever, that'd be no issue in that space. So I wouldn't even have to drop the tent necessarily. It just depends on the weather, I guess. But yeah, so here's the head end, my clutter. It's my silk sleeping bag liner and pillow, spare trousers at the top end, and it's basically all my bits and bobs, my bag and all my clutter. Yeah, and I'm pretty warm and toasty in here. No dramas, to be honest with you. Even though we're talking, it's got to be around 1 or 2 degrees outside. Certainly no more than that. So I mean, the one thing that it would be nice would be to have 4-season inner on this, and I have looked for one, but I mean, we're in 4-season conditions, temperatures anyway. I don't know about obviously if it was windier, then I would just lower it and I'd have a bit less headroom. But you can probably see, I don't know if you can see the light here, but I have got plenty of headroom here. You can see the light above me. There's no shortage of room in here, and this is, on a normal Tipi type tent, I'm sitting where the pole is, so I'd be squashed to one side one way or another, if I didn't have the A-frame setup that I've got. So yeah, I know Grey Hikes, who I've chatted to a couple of times. If he does watch this, he's a similar, we're similar height and build and everything. So he struggled with this tent with the one person inner, and I've put it up, but it just doesn't fit as well as this one. The 2-person, this just fits so much better. So I can't even remember if the 1-person is I think it's a 3-season as well. But to be honest with you, I mean, I'd use this all year round, this tent. And I've seen people with pictures of them on the up above the tree line on the mountains and that. I mean, yeah, all right, if you're going into really hostile conditions, then yeah, there are other better options. But if you have to go lightweight, I mean, plenty of people use those Dyneema tents and DCF tents and all that stuff. So I don't see why you couldn't use this. Really happy with it now. I've got this. Now I've got the 2-person in it. It just makes sense. Makes the tent make sense. I mean, in a warm weather, as long as if you're not being bothered by insects, then you could just drop the mesh and you get even more room. But if it was just one of you, there's no shortage of room now. It's a bit of a palace. I'd say it'd be cosy with 2 of you for sure. And there are other better options, but this is a nice space to be in. So the other thing I was going to give an honourable mention to, if I can even find it. Just a second ago, there it is. I've shown this a few times, but this
720 degree mug. I've used the old Brecon beakers and other beakers like this before, but they've all leaked and they've all been problematic. This is the only one I've ever found that isn't, and it's got this pop top, and it keeps your drinks warmer for longer because you don't have to take the top off. With the Brecon beakers, you have to unscrew the top. That lets all the heat out. This one doesn't, and this was freezing when I put the hot water in earlier on. Made my cup of tea. It was cold, and this metal was really cold, and I thought, oh, it's not going to be so good, because normally what I would do at home is I would put some hot water in it first, let that warm the inside up, ditch that, and then put my tea in afterwards, and that keeps it warm for hours and hours. And I thought, well, it'll probably do for an hour or two, but actually it's still proper, you know, hot, and I like my tea hot. I hate lukewarm tea. I just can't be doing with it. So this thing, although it weighs probably about 300 grams, you save a lot of fuel with one of these, because you can make, you know, if I make a brew and it gets lukewarm halfway through, I'm just going to chuck it and I'll end up making another one. With this, I'll make one brew and it will last me for hours, and I'll drink it all. Because I'm not one for drinking these great big buckets of tea and that. I'm sort of a bit of a sipper. I like to have a hot drink when I want it, you know, and this works for me. So highly recommend these. They're not mega expensive, about 20 quid I think it was. Really good bit of kit, and nice seal and everything. And the lid, you unscrew it and you can take it all apart and clean it. It's really good bit of kit, this is. So yeah, definitely recommend these. And I will take this on my through hike. If I can spare the weight, I think I will, because also keep your drinks cold in the hot weather as well. So there was that. And my socks I've mentioned several times, which I've switched on because my feet were getting a bit cold. Here's the battery pack. Switched, you can see it switched on to the second setting. It's got 4 settings. I've never gone above 2, never needed to. But this is the little battery pack, and you've got one on each sock, and it just tucks into this thing here. And when you're walking, even, you know, when they're not switched on, you don't notice the battery pack at all. You know, and I hear people talking about the weight of boots, and I don't wear boots. I wear trail runners because boots are heavy. Really, if you're struggling to walk in hiking boots, you probably shouldn't be hiking. Don't use weight as an excuse. Do you know what I mean? Honestly. But yeah, so they probably would be grabbing themselves at the thought of carrying a pair of socks with little battery packs in them. Oh no, the extra weight. These are brilliant, these socks, honestly. I mean, you could get 2 nights out of these, I reckon. I'm normally down to 3 or 2 lights on it, which is out of 4, so 50%, so maybe 60%. So you get 2 nights out of these. I mean, I wouldn't use them for through hiking, no, but for nights like this, they're tremendous. My feet were getting a bit cold, and I just fire these on, and you know, I'll be turning them off soon. Yeah, so just a couple of honourable mentions about kit, really. Yeah, I mean, it's really more about this tent. I'm really happy with this. I've gone, as my wife will tell you, I've gone through a few tents. You know, I need to get rid of some, but this is the top one for through hiking for me. I'll be doing the coast to coast with this for sure. Yeah, I think that's about it really. I think I'm just going to chill out now, probably listen to a podcast for a bit, and then I'll crash out and be back in the morning and see what sort of, hopefully get a nice sunrise. Well, I won't be awake for sunrise, I doubt it anyway, but hopefully we'll have a nice morning anyway. So cook up a bit of breakfast and be on my way. So while I was settling down, I heard some noise outside, and I heard a sheep, and I heard some other noises, and then I heard some noises very close to my tent, and then something, well, I can best describe it as a nudge. Someone nudged me, or something nudged me, and you know, it's one of those things where you think, am I imagining this? But I'll just turn my camera around. I wasn't imagining it, because you look here, something was digging, and I could hear something scraping outside. Something was digging here, and my guess is it was a pony, and judging by the way it nudged me with its nose, it was a pony, and obviously smelt the food in my tent. I told it to Foxtrot Oscar in no uncertain terms, and then scratching around stopped, etc. But yeah, that was definitely definitely, it wasn't my imagination, as sometimes you think it is. But yeah, so it's like normal service has been resumed above me. But yeah, that was an interesting night. I've had better night's sleep after that, I must say. But you know, it was pitch black, and I could hear this scratching around, and then it wasn't like a little. It was a fair old nudge. I was like, what the? But yeah, so that was last night. But yeah, still a good spot. I'd still come back here again. Now I'm gonna just gonna get some breakfast on the go, I think. Right, so back in the room again. So I thought the wind's blowing into the back of the tent, the sun's coming up in the back of the tent, and I fancied a bit of sunshine. So I thought, well, why don't I make my brew and that in the castle, nice and sheltered, and got a bit of sun coming in there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I don't think there's too many wild campers who can say they've had breakfast in a castle. Alright, it's small and it's more like a lookout than a castle. It's called Castle Point, I think. I'll put a bit of history on the on a app after this, so you can. I'm not even sure the history myself, but I should put something up, and so you can see. But yeah, there's one dog walker who sort of ventured towards me and then saw my tent and me and turned around. So I don't know, I'm some scary looking psychopath or something, but I don't know. Some people are strange, aren't they? But, anyway, so yeah, I was thinking if I was one of those sort of clickbaity YouTubers, or someone who was really that obsessed about getting likes and subscribers, I suppose I could have put "when wild ponies attack" for last night's experience. I would hardly call it attack. It was just a bit disconcerting, is the word I would use. But you know, it's just a matter of logic, isn't it? Well, what's it going to be? Well, it can only be, there's only two animals around here that could do that, or that would do that, and that are around here. It's not going to be a fox. Foxes don't nudge you in the middle of the night. They sneak in and they sneak out, as I found out. So it was either a sheep or a pony, and my money's on the pony. It had a little scrape around outside the tent, smelt the food. I told it to go away, and it went away. Could have been a sheep, I guess, but I think it was a pony by the way it nudged me. Sheep aren't that brave. Ponies are a little bit more inquisitive, I think. So yeah, that was the excitement. But yeah, it's nice, lovely spot here. I'll be prepared next time for any pony action, pony or sheep action, but I just didn't tend to think about it because there weren't any around. They are up here, but there weren't any knocking about. I saw one about a mile from here, but they wander all over the place, so obviously that's what it was. But yeah, so now breakfast is going to get a brew on, and I'm just going to warm I've got a croissant or two. Just going to warm one of them up over the flames and tuck into that, and that'll be me, and I'll start packing up. But proper milk, get in. But yeah, an interesting camp, this one. Definitely like it up here. I'll be coming back here. So if you're ever in the Pembrokeshire area and you're looking for a spot, some good parking, I'm going to explore a bit more of it when I get a chance, but so I think there's some other good spots. But yeah, this was definitely worked out.
So just before I finish packing everything up, I just thought I'd show you how I turn this into an A-frame. So these are homemade. I bought a blank, like a carbon, I think it's about 18mm blank, cut it into 25cm lengths. Got a couple of these stoppers on the ends, which fitted, glued over the top, put holes in them, and this end I drilled 2 holes and attach it by cord. So that's, as you can see, that's there. So basically the way it works is, as I'm sure you can guess, this one's a bit tighter, which actually works quite well. Goes over that one, goes over that one, and there you have your A-frame, which can be extended. Now initially you think that's a bit flimsy, but once it's out and tensioned, that's solid, as you saw when I pitched a tent. So that's basically how it works. And what I'll do is when I pitch with one pole to start with that one. Then when I've got my height ready, my height adjusted, the height I want for the pitch, then I'll just insert this other pole and then just extend them out like that. And it takes 2 minutes. Job's a good one.